The force of quietness. Make everything stream in support of yourself. Composed by Kelvin W. Nathan. Distributed by Book Recordings Office. Presentation. You have spent endless minutes in the organization of commotion, haven't you? Now is the right time to think about the milder side of life, the quieted tones of presence that frequently slip by everyone's notice, the force of quietness. This fascinating book disentangles the secret behind the tranquil, offering you another viewpoint on the importance and advantages of quiet in our lives. It's not just about the shortfall of sound, it's likewise a device for self-reflection, a pathway to inward harmony, a procedure for compelling correspondence, and, surprisingly, an answer for compromise. As you venture through these pages, you will think of yourself as addressing, what untold mysteries could quiet hold for your own and healthy lifestyle? For more data about the digital book variant of this sound, visit audiobooksoffice.com. We notice that 82% of you who pay attention to our video are not yet bought into the channel. Kindly assist with supporting the channel by raising a ruckus around town button and like the video. Gratitude for rousing us to make more satisfied for you. Example 1. The advantages of quietness at any point asked why quiet can be so gainful for your prosperity. It's not just about partaking in the calm. Science-upheld research shows that quiet significantly affects your mind and generally speaking well-being. At the point when there is steady commotion around you, your mind is continually handling data. This can prompt mental overburden, stress, and even a sleeping disorder. Yet, when you embrace quietness, you're giving your mind a genuinely necessary break. It is like squeezing the reset button. Your feelings of anxiety decline, your ability to focus increments, and your cerebrum begins to work all the more effectively. In addition, quietness can animate cerebrum development. As per a recent report, 2 hours of quietness every day animated cell development in the hippocampus, a cerebrum district related with memory. This implies that quietness might possibly improve your memory and learning limit. Yet, that is not all. Quietness can likewise cultivate mindfulness and imagination. At the point when you're calm, you can hear your internal considerations, examine your sentiments, and gain bits of knowledge into your ways of behaving. This self-reflection can prompt self-awareness. Simultaneously, the calm permits your brain to meander uninhibitedly, starting your imagination. In a world loaded up with steady commotion and interruption, cutting out snapshots of quietness appears to be testing. In any case, it merits the work. Quietness isn't simply the shortfall of commotion. It's a strong well-being instrument that can help your mind capability, diminish pressure, improve mindfulness, and invigorate innovativeness. Example 2. Finding tranquility in an uproarious world while understanding the advantages of quietness is significant. It's similarly as vital to know how to think that it is in our clamoring, commotion-filled world. You could believe it's unimaginable, given the steady flood of sounds in your everyday life. However, finding quietness isn't just imaginable, yet it can likewise be straightforward assuming that you apply the right systems. Begin by assigning a particular time every day for quiet. It doesn't need to be long, even 5 minutes can have a huge effect. This could be when you awaken, before the day's clamor starts, or late around evening time when everything has quieted down. You can likewise make a tranquil space in your home. This ought to be where you can go, shut the entryway, and be distant from everyone else with your viewpoints. You wouldn't believe how much the actual climate can add to your inward quiet. Another technique is to rehearse care. This includes zeroing in on the current second, tuning into your faculties and feelings, and relinquishing diverting contemplations. Thusly, you can find tranquility even in the midst of clamor. Finally, consider integrating quiet into your standard exercises. For example, you could have a quiet supper one time each week, take a peaceful walk, or mood killer the radio while driving. Example 3. Developing inward harmony through quiet. What might quietness do in encouraging internal harmony, you could inquire. Quietness, frequently underestimated, is an incredible asset for developing internal serenity. It's not just about actual calm, it's likewise about calming the brain and decreasing inner commotion. In reality, as we know it, where you're continually barraged with data and clamor, quietness gives a truly necessary rest. It offers you a reprieve from the ceaseless jabber of your brain, permitting you to zero in on the current second. This guides in the decrease of pressure and uneasiness, the two of which are enormous obstructions to inward quiet. Quietness additionally advances care. At the point when you're quiet, you're more mindful of your viewpoints and sentiments. You can notice them without judgment, which is a critical part of care. This expanded mindfulness can assist you with understanding yourself better, encouraging a feeling of harmony and happiness. Besides, quietness permits you to interface with yourself on a more profound level. In the calm, you can hear your internal voice all the more plainly, assisting you with figuring out your necessities, wants, and values. This self-understanding is pivotal for internal harmony, as it empowers you to live in arrangement with your actual self. Illustration 4. Quietness is a device for self-reflection. Quietness, as well as advancing inward quiet, is an extraordinary instrument for self-reflection, permitting you to dive further into your viewpoints and feelings. You've likely seen how, without even a trace of outside interruptions, your psyche will in general meander, delivering thoughts, recollections, and sentiments you weren't at first mindful of. This is the course of self-reflection, and it's in these quiet minutes that you can acquire significant bits of knowledge about yourself. Quietness strips away the clamor of your day-to-day routine, making a space for you to face the contemplations that typically lie underneath your cognizant mindfulness. In this peaceful field, you're ready to notice your inward discourse, surveying your convictions, values, and life decisions with a basic eye. An interaction can be awkward, but on the other hand, it's unquestionably essential for self-improvement. In the quietness, you're allowed to scrutinize your discernments, challenge your suspicions, and stand up to your feelings of dread. It's a space where you can break down your activities, contemplate your inspirations, and think about your future. It's a chance to introspect, to inspect your life according to a disengaged viewpoint, and to gain from quite a while ago. In addition, quietness empowers persistence, training you to sit with your viewpoints and feelings as opposed to responding rashly. An ability can assist you with growing more ability to appreciate people on a deeper level, working on your ability to comprehend and deal with your feelings. Generally, quiet fills in as a mirror, reflecting back to you the internal operations of your psyche. It's an instrument that, when utilized appropriately, can work with significant mindfulness and self-awareness. So don't avoid the quiet, embrace it, and let it guide you on your excursion of self-revelation. Example 5. The mending force of quietness. Proceeding with your investigation of inward calm, you'll find that quiet isn't simply a chance for self-reflection, yet in addition a strong wellspring of recuperating. The quiet and serenity of quiet can go about as a salve on the spirit, assisting with mending wounds that are frequently not noticeable to the unaided eye. Believe quietness to be a shelter, a protected sanctuary from the clamor and turmoil of the external world. In this sanctuary, you're ready to reconnect with your internal identity, pay attention to your viewpoints, and cycle your feelings. This course of thoughtfulness and mindfulness can make a significant mending difference, particularly while managing pressure, tension, or personal disturbance. Quietness likewise permits you to tune into your body's signs. It's in these tranquil minutes that you can become mindful of any actual uneasiness or strain and do whatever it may take to address it. Thusly, you're advancing actual prosperity, yet additionally adding to your psychological and profound well-being. Besides, concentrates on demonstrate the way that quiet can set off the improvement of new synapses in the hippocampus, which is related with memory, feeling, and learning. This implies that quietness doesn't simply mend, it likewise helps you develop and advance. Example 6. Quiet and care at any point. Viewed as the job quiet plays in rehearsing care. Indeed, it's a critical element. Quietness, basically, makes an optimal feel for care, a condition of dynamic, open consideration regarding the present. It's a shortfall of commotion, yet a significant and integral asset that guides in the development of a careful state. Quietness permits you to think, encouraging a more profound association with your internal identity. It's in those tranquil minutes where you can genuinely zero in on your viewpoints, feelings, and sensations without the consistent murmur of outside commotion. It's an opportunity to get out the psychological mess, to reflect, and to recover your concentration. This doesn't mean you should search out a totally quiet climate to rehearse care. It's more about finding mental quiet, a space where contemplations can exist without judgment or response. Inner tranquility develops care by permitting you to look at your viewpoints and sentiments from a distance as opposed to becoming immersed in them. Integrating quiet into your care practice isn't tied in with closing out the world, however, about turning out to be more receptive to it. It's tied in with recognizing the commotion yet not allowing it to direct your inward talk. Illustration 7. Embracing quiet for mental lucidity. Expanding on the idea of quietness as an instrument for care, it's fundamental to comprehend how embracing this quietude can essentially improve your psychological clearness. In an undeniably boisterous world, it's not difficult to lose center and become overpowered. Quietness, be that as it may, slices through this commotion, giving a serene space to your brain to do something amazing. At the point when you permit quiet into your life, you're allowing your brain to break liberated from interruptions. It resembles cleaning up your psychological space, considering better fixation and more grounded center. This is especially helpful while taking care of intricate issues or when you're under personal pressure. Peacefully, you're ready to see issues from an alternate, frequently more clear, point of view. Quietness likewise empowers further reasoning and thoughtfulness. At the point when you're not besieged by outer boosts, you're bound to contemplate over life's greater inquiries and your place in it, prompting mindfulness and edification. This, thusly, establishes a psychological climate helpful for imaginative thoughts and arrangements. Notwithstanding, embracing quietness isn't so straightforward as it appears. It requires practice and persistence to block out the clamor and tune into your inward considerations. Begin by assigning explicit times for quietness. Early mornings or late evenings, when the world dials back, are great. Illustration 8. Quietness and imagination. In the domain of inventiveness, quiet assumes a significant part as it encourages a climate ready for creative reasoning in clever thought age. It's an impetus, driving you into a condition of profound focus, where the prattle of the rest of the world blurs and the internal operations of your brain become the overwhelming focus. As you sit peacefully, you're constrained to investigate the sinkholes of your psyche, uncovering novel bits of knowledge and bits of motivation that might have been disregarded in the clamor of your day-to-day existence. Your center hones, and you're ready to plunge further into your viewpoints, allowing your creative mind to wander uninhibitedly. In this peaceful state, imagination doesn't feel constrained or stressed, it streams normally. Quiet additionally considers reflection, which is basic in the inventive strategy. It gives you the space to think back on your work, look at its assets and shortcomings, and recognize regions for development. Peacefully, you can basically examine your thoughts, refining them until they're cleaned and prepared for acknowledgement. Besides, quietness can assist with alleviating inventive blocks. The steady siege of tactile upgrades can overpower your mind, smothering your capacity to inventively think. By eliminating these interruptions, quietness helps clear your brain, accounting for new plans to surface. Similarly, as quietness can open your imaginative potential, it can likewise altogether work on your connections, cultivating further associations and better comprehension. A powerful device is many times neglected in our commotion-ruled society. Quiet isn't simply the shortfall of sound or discourse. It's a functioning, purposeful demonstration of making space for reflection, compassion, and association. At the point when you permit quietness to pervade your connections, you're not just showing regard for the other individual's considerations and sentiments, but at the same time you're establishing a climate helpful for more profound comprehension. Think about a warmed contention. By choosing quiet, you're giving yourself an opportunity to chill off, process your feelings, and art a more smart reaction. A training can diffuse strain, forestall miscommunication, and cultivate shared regard. It's additionally peacefully that you genuinely tune in. At the point when you're quiet, you're not figuring out your next contention or making a clever rebound. You're concentrating on the other individual, permitting their words to soak in, and acquiring a more profound comprehension of their point of view. Quietness additionally has the ability to fortify your bond with others. Shared snapshots of quiet can be cozy and strong, mirroring a degree of solace and understanding that rises above words. However, recall, similar to any apparatus, the force of quietness rests in its fitting use. Complete quietness can convey lack of engagement or detachment. Offsetting it with dynamic commitment and open communication is urgent. Outfit the force of quiet and perceive how it can change your connections. It's an unobtrusive shift, however one that can yield significant outcomes. Illustration 10. The craft of undivided attention. Undivided attention is a brilliant ability that can impel your associations with new levels. It's not just about hushing up while the other individual discussions, it's tied in with being completely participated in what they're talking about, figuring out their perspective, and answering such that shows you're completely present in the discussion. Undivided attention includes something other than hearing words. It's tied in with translating the importance behind them, seeing unobtrusive signs in nonverbal communication, and answering suitably. You're not simply latently engrossing data, you're effectively partaking in the trade. Consider undivided attention a two-way road. You're not simply getting, you're likewise offering in return, through your nonverbal communication, your verbal reactions, and, surprisingly, your quietness. You're showing the speaker that you regard their contemplations, that you're keen on what they need to say, and that you're willing to put your time and consideration in figuring out their point of view. This doesn't mean you need to concur with all that they say. However, it implies that you're available to their thoughts, that you're willing to consider perspectives unique in relation to your own, and that you're prepared to take part in a significant discussion. Undivided attention can change your connections. It can connect wholes, resolve clashes, and cultivate a more profound comprehension among you and individuals you collaborate with. A workmanship requires practice, tolerance, and a certifiable interest in others. In any case, whenever you've dominated it, you'll track down that it's an incredible asset for building more grounded, more significant associations. Illustration 11. Quietness and close-to-home prosperity. While undivided attention assumes a vital part in cultivating significant connections, embracing quiet can fundamentally add to your profound prosperity. This could appear to be unreasonable, yet how about we dig further into this point of view? Quiet gives you the space to introspect, offering you the chance to comprehend your feelings better. At the point when you're continually encircled by commotion, it's not difficult to get diverted and move away from your internal identity. Yet, when you sit peacefully, you're permitting your brain an opportunity to deal with your sentiments, subsequently advancing profound clearness. In addition, quietness decreases pressure. The steady chat, be it outside or interior, can prompt uplifted feelings of anxiety. By embracing quietness, you can effectively lessen pressure, which can work on your in general profound well-being. Quiet additionally cultivates care. It assists you with remaining present at the time instead of choosing not to move on or stressing over what's in store. This care can prompt expanded satisfaction and joy, further improving your profound prosperity. Try not to befuddle the quietness supported here with seclusion or aversion. It's tied in with requiring investment to sit with your viewpoints and feelings, not tied in with closing out the world or overlooking issues. It's a proactive practice, not a responsive departure. Illustration 12. Quietness as a way to otherworldly development. Have you at any point thought about how quietness could be a venturing stone to profound development? It's not something you could intrinsically connection to, yet how about we dig further? In a world that is frequently clearly and turbulent, quietness can act as a safe haven. It's a climate where you can block out outside commotions and interruptions, permitting you to concentrate internal. This internal center can assist you with associating with your otherworldly self, encouraging development and change. Quiet, in this specific situation, isn't simply the shortfall of sound. It's the conscious demonstration of calming your psyche and heart and looking for peacefulness in a universe of disturbance. At the point when you deliberately pick quietness, you're accounting for thoughtfulness. This reflection can prompt a more profound information on your otherworldly standards and convictions, which is a significant piece of profound turn of events. In addition, quiet encourages care. At the point when you're quiet, you become more mindful of your viewpoints, sentiments, and encounters. You become present at the time, which is a focal principle of numerous profound practices. Ultimately, quiet can prompt a feeling of harmony and peacefulness. This quietness can further develop your otherworldly prosperity by bringing down pressure and cultivating a feeling of unity with your general surroundings. Illustration 13. Quietness and stress decrease, expanding on the feeling of harmony and tranquility that quietness can give, taking into account its job and pressure reduction is additionally significant. In the present unhinged world, you're frequently assaulted with outer commotion that can tighten up your feelings of anxiety. However, quiet can go about as a calming emollient, assisting with diminishing those feelings of anxiety. As a matter of fact, a few examinations recommend that quietness straightforwardly affects pressure markers in the cerebrum. Quietness can assist with bringing down your pulse, work on your rest, and reinforce your safe framework. This happens on the grounds that quiet assists your mind with unwinding, decreasing its need to deal with the tangible overburden that frequently goes with commotion. Besides, quietness allows your psyche to meander openly, animating imagination and self-reflection. This can assist you with better comprehension your feelings and responses to stretch, preparing you to deal with stressors all the more really later on. Be that as it may, embracing quiet isn't just about decreasing commotion. Additionally, about decreasing the hurrying around fills your life. By taking snapshots of quietness over the course of your day, you're offering your brain a reprieve as well as setting out a freedom for contemplation. Illustration 14. Outfitting quietness for efficiency. Going to quietness might possibly open a striking expansion in your efficiency by giving a space to centered thinking and continuous work process. It's tied in with cutting out a safe haven for your brain, liberated from the consistent torrent of outer improvements. In this peaceful climate, you can completely focus on the job that needs to be done. In this day and age, interruptions are all over. Warnings, calls, messages, and, surprisingly, the foundation murmur of a clamoring office or city can work on your concentration. Nonetheless, quiet offers a shelter from these interruptions. It's about the shortfall of commotion, yet about making a psychological space that encourages efficiency. By bridling quiet, you're permitting your cerebrum to move into a condition of profound work. This state, portrayed by extraordinary concentration and high efficiency, is where it are brought into the world to weighty thoughts and arrangements. Quietness develops this climate by lessening mental burden and opening up mental assets. To take advantage of this force of quietness, laying out routines is essential. These could be quiet mornings, outside sound-blocking earphones, or committed calm spaces. Everything revolves around finding what works for yourself and practicing it all the time. Example 15. Quietness and further developed rest quality past supporting efficiency. Embracing quietness can essentially upgrade your rest quality, an urgent part of generally well-being and prosperity. You've most likely seen that nodding off in an uproarious climate can challenge. What you mightn't understand is that your mind keeps on handling sounds as you rest, possibly upsetting your rest cycle and lessening the nature of your rest. By developing a quiet climate, you're giving your cerebrum less work to do while you're snoozing, considering further, more serene rest. Be that as it may, it's not just about taking out clamor. It's tied in with embracing quiet as a positive, helpful power. As per studies, even a couple of moments of quietness can decrease circulatory strain and heartbeat rate, as well as nervousness and feelings of anxiety. These impacts can make it simpler for you to nod off and stay unconscious. Besides, quiet can decidedly impact the creation of melatonin, your body's normal rest chemical. In view of a review distributed in the Diary of Clinical Endocrinology and Digestion, commotion openness before sleep time might decrease melatonin levels, possibly prompting sleep deprivation. On the other hand, keeping a tranquil climate can assist with safeguarding your normal melatonin creation, advancing better, more peaceful rest. Example 16. Quiet and instinct. Digging into the domain of instinct, quietness can act as a strong impetus, uplifting your natural capacity to see and grasp your general surroundings on a more profound level. The peaceful minutes you cut out in your everyday life give your instinct the space it necessitates to surface, cultivating a more noteworthy feeling of mindfulness and understanding. Your instinct, frequently compared to a hunch, is an inborn piece of your mental tool compartment. Peacefully, you're not diverted by outer commotion or inside babble, permitting your instinct to do something amazing. Here, you're bound to take advantage of your oblivious brain, where natural bits of knowledge frequently dwell, yet they are every now and again overwhelmed by the monotonous routine. Quiet isn't just about switching off the music or closing down the babble, it's tied in with clearing your brain and making a psychological space liberated from predispositions, or judgment. At the point when you're quiet, you're more open to getting natural messages. You're better ready to tune into your body's signs, to feel and comprehend the unobtrusive movements that demonstrate whether something is correct or wrong. Embracing quiet, subsequently, improves your instinctive capacities, giving a conductor to your subliminal contemplations and sentiments to surface. It's in these calm minutes that you can hear your inward voice all the more plainly, furnishing you with a priceless device for navigation, critical thinking, and grasping yourself and your general surroundings on a more significant level. Illustration 17. Quietness and actual well-being. While the effect of quietness on your instinctive abilities is significant, it's likewise important the way in which it can altogether work on your actual well-being. Participating in times of quietness, whether through reflection, care, or just having some time off, can have substantial advantages for your actual prosperity. Quietness diminishes feelings of anxiety. At the point when you're continually encircled by clamor, your body is much of the time in a condition of pressure. This can bring about raised pulse, and cortisol levels, the pressure chemical. Conversely, quiet offers your body the chance to loosen up and recover. Customary snapshots of calm can bring down your circulatory strain, slow your pulse, and abatement cortisol levels. In addition, quietness has been related with the excitement of mind development. As per research, 2 hours of tranquility consistently can add to the development of new cells in the hippocampal district, which is associated with memory, feeling, and learning. By offering your mind a reprieve from the steady surge of improvements, you're permitting it to develop and foster in new ways. Ultimately, quietness helps your resistant framework. The pressure decrease related with quietness prompts a decline in irritation and an improvement in safe capability. This implies that your body is better ready to recuperate itself and ward off illness. Example 18. Quiet and the force of isolation. In investigating the domain of quietness, you'll track down that isolation, frequently seen as a negative state, can really hold enormous power and proposition huge advantages. It's not simply about being distant from everyone else, it's tied in with bridling the calm to cultivate self-reflection, imagination, and self-improvement. You could see isolation as confinement, yet recognizing the two is urgent. Separation is a constrained, frequently undesirable condition of being distant from everyone else, regularly connected with sensations of dejection. Then again, isolation is a picked express, a purposeful detachment from the clamor around you to encourage a more profound association with yourself. In the quiet of isolation, you can pay attention to your internal voice all the more plainly. It permits you to reflect, dissect, and get a handle on your viewpoints, sentiments, and encounters. This reflection can assist you with acquiring a superior comprehension of yourself, expanding your mindfulness and the capacity to understand people on a profound level. Besides, isolation sparkles imagination. At the point when you're distant from everyone else with your viewpoints, you're liberated from interruptions and outside impacts, which can prompt inventive thoughts and arrangements. It's no incident that numerous specialists and masterminds esteem their alone time, it's a fruitful ground for imagination. Example 19. Quiet is a type of taking care of oneself. Past its job in encouraging self-awareness and imagination, quietness likewise fills in as an amazing asset for taking care of oneself, assisting you with restoring and discover a genuine sense of reconciliation. In the hurrying around of our lives, we're in many cases besieged by a steady stream of clamor and data, which can prompt pressure and mental weariness. Embracing snapshots of quietness can give a fundamental relief, helping with pressure decrease and expanding your general feeling of prosperity. Yet, how really does quietness achieve this? Studies recommend that quiet significantly affects our cerebrums. It permits the mind to unwind, brings down pulse, and decreases the degrees of stress chemicals. You're not simply staying away from commotion, you're effectively advancing, recuperating and rebuilding inside your body. Quietness likewise allows you an opportunity to reflect and mull over. It can assist you with acquiring a superior comprehension of your viewpoints and sentiments, permitting you to settle on better choices. You're not simply in a peaceful climate, you're effectively captivating in self-revelation and self-improvement. Besides, quiet can upgrade your capacity to concentration and concentrate. By taking out interruptions, you're ready to channel your energy all the more really, further developing efficiency and effectiveness in your exercises. You're not simply removing the clamor, you're effectively helping your mental capability. Recollect that quiet isn't about separation or evasion, it's tied in with supporting and really focusing on your emotional well-being. In a general public where clamor is habitually unavoidable, getting some margin for quietness might be a strong type of taking care of oneself. You'll feel quite a bit improved, however you'll likewise be more prepared to deal with life's difficulties. Illustration 20. Quietness and the craft of giving up the existence's difficulties. Illustration 20. Quietness and the craft of giving up. Embracing quietness can likewise show you the craft of giving up, a training that holds huge power in cultivating profound strength and self-improvement. A significant encounter permits you to deliver weights, assumptions, and tensions that never again serve you. Very much like quietness, giving up isn't about non-attendance yet rather about making space for new encounters, viewpoints, and bits of knowledge. At the point when you submerge yourself peacefully, you're not just keeping away from commotion. You're purposefully establishing a climate where you can introspect and tune into your internal identity. This contemplation offers you the chance to recognize what you're clutching and the solidarity to deliver it. You'll find that a few considerations, feelings, or connections are like commotions upsetting your inward harmony. Perceiving these commotions is the most vital phase during the time spent giving up. Quiet urges you to defy these commotions as opposed to smothering them. By sitting peacefully, you give yourself the consent to believe, to process, and to give up. It's a freeing feeling, much the same as shedding a weighty burden. It doesn't mean you're disposing of parts of yourself, but instead that you're cleaning up your profound scene, accounting for development and change. Example 21. Quiet and compromise. You'll find that quietness can frequently act as an incredible asset in settling clashes, cultivating shared understanding, and advancing compelling correspondence. At the point when conflicts emerge, your most memorable intuition may be to guard your position vocally and fervently. Be that as it may, think about the other option, calm consideration. It's here of quietness that you can ponder what is happening, gain point of view, and really pay attention to the next party's perspective. Quiet isn't about inaction or evasion. Rather, it establishes a protected climate where everybody in question can offer their viewpoints and sentiments unafraid of prompt judgment or counter. By embracing a quiet methodology during warmed conversations, you're making space for sympathy to arise. You're permitting yourself to comprehend the other party's stance, which is fundamental for compromise. Quietness likewise permits you to control your profound reaction. Without giving it much thought, you could make statements you don't mean, heightening the contention further. By picking quietness, you're furnishing yourself with a chance to chill off and think prior to answering. An approach to forestalling automatic responses can worsen what is happening. Illustration 22. Quietness and upgraded correspondence. In the domain of correspondence, quietness can frequently intensify your words and goals, filling in as an amazing asset to upgrade understanding and clearness. You might see quietness as a shortfall of correspondence, yet it's an indispensable piece of compelling correspondence. It's about what you say, yet additionally about when you decide not to talk. Quiet offers you the chance to listen effectively, advancing sympathy and empathy. At the point when you're quiet, you're not only trusting that your turn will talk, you're really hearing and handling what the other individual is talking about. This undivided attention encourages a more profound association and understanding, making your reactions more insightful and significant. In addition, quietness considers reflection. At the point when you stop prior to answering, you give yourself an opportunity to painstakingly think about your words. This reflection can prompt more exact and viable correspondence. It recognizes the discussion and the individual you're speaking with. In any case, the force of quietness isn't simply in tuning in and reflection. It likewise lies in the nonverbal signals that quiet can stress. An interruption can feature a point, make tension, or convey feelings more capably than words. It can add weight to your words and make your messages more effective. Illustration 23. Quietness and self-awareness. While bridling the force of quiet can fundamentally upgrade your relational abilities, its advantages aren't restricted to this area, they reach out to self-improvement also. Quietness can go about as an impetus for thoughtfulness, prompting a superior comprehension of oneself. You'll find that by embracing calm minutes, you're more adept to ponder your considerations, sentiments, and encounters, along these lines encouraging mindfulness and self-improvement. In the buzzing about of day-to-day existence, it's not difficult to become mixed up in the commotion and neglect to focus on what makes a difference. Quietness, be that as it may, furnishes you with the ideal chance to detach from outside interruptions and reconnect with your internal identity. You'll find that by consistently rehearsing quiet, you can develop a feeling of inward harmony and peacefulness, which, thusly, can upgrade your general prosperity and personal satisfaction. Further, quiet can support your inventiveness and critical abilities to think. At the point when you're quiet, you're closing out the commotion around you, but on the other hand you're establishing a favorable climate for your psyche to meander and investigate groundbreaking thoughts. You're giving yourself the space to think profoundly and basically about different parts of your life and concoct inventive answers for the difficulties you're confronting. Illustration 24. Embracing quietness for a healthy lifestyle. Embracing quietness isn't just about self-awareness and imagination, it's likewise an imperative fixing in making a healthy lifestyle. In the cutting-edge world, you're frequently assaulted with consistent clamor, from the chat of virtual entertainment to the murmur of metropolitan life. This consistent feeling can prompt pressure, nervousness, and a feeling of irregularity. Quiet, then again, offers a shelter. It gives you breathing room, to think, and to exist with next to no outer requests basically. It's in these calm minutes that you can associate profoundly with your internal identity, uncovering bits of knowledge and acknowledge that commotion frequently overwhelms. Nonetheless, embracing quietness doesn't mean avoiding all commotion. Everything revolves around finding some kind of harmony among exercise and unwinding. It's about deliberately making space in your day-to-day everyday practice for times of quietness, whether it's through contemplation, a tranquil walk around the recreation area, or just sitting in a peaceful room. Besides, quiet can assist you with keeping a solid close-to-home balance. By offering your psyche a reprieve from consistent improvements, it permits your considerations and feelings to settle, advancing a feeling of quiet and clearness. This can assist you with answering occasions more objectively and mindfully instead of incautiously. Calming your reality can bring tremendous advantages. As indicated by studies, even 2 minutes of quietness may be more quieting than paying attention to mitigating music. Quietness isn't simply brilliant, it's a useful asset for self-reflection, compromise, and self-awareness. By embracing quietness, you're improving your correspondence as well as adjusting your life. In this way, transform down the commotion and tune into the significant force of quietness. Now is the right time to give the tranquil access. Gratitude for paying attention to or perusing this from audiobooks.